Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making the infamous pumpkin roll. Everybody's been asking me to make a pumpkin roll video. So today I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this pumpkin roll. So let's dig right into it. It's going to be real fun today, and welcome to my channel. Okay everybody, so this is what you're going to need for the pumpkin rolls. Now I'm doing this in the multiplicity of 4, just because that's how much I need right now. So we'll start with the dry ingredients. I have 1 cup of sugar, 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Now, to get an accurate measurement, because many times you'll scoop the actual measure cup into the flour, that's incorrect. What you want to do is take a spoon and scoop in the flour so you get a more accurate and easy measurement. So I just have 3/4 cup of flour, and over here we have baking soda, baking powder, ground cloves, ground cinnamon, and nutmeg. I'll put all the measurements in the down bar below. And the wet ingredients, we have 12 eggs, and we also have 2/3 of a cup of pumpkin. We have a sifter, a whisk, and a spatula. So first we're just going to combine all of our dry ingredients together. Now, I strongly suggest that you do use a sifter like this, because you do get a better quality of a sponge cake. You definitely get a better and a softer texture, and it's not like really tough and really dense and not really moist. I'm also just adding in some vanilla flavoring just to kind of bring out everything. Not too much. I don't measure the vanilla because you don't really need to measure vanilla, because the vanilla is just really good. It's a really good flavor enhancer as well. I'm just going to set these towels over here, and I'm going to bring my mixer over. Oh. Okay. Now it's a little cluttered over here, but it'll be all right. Okay. So before I actually put it on, put your dry ingredients in. So I prefer to do this by spatula full. You don't have to do it like I do. When I do big recipes like this, I do 3 spatulas, and then I'll just put in a little bit of the actual pumpkin and egg mixture, the custard kind of mixture. Thank you, camera woman. Okay, so I'm just going to put in about 3 ladlefuls or 2. So basically why we put in equal amounts of mixture at a time is because when you're mixing these together, you don't want the wet ingredients just to pretty much slosh around in the pan, but you want these to actually combine together. So I'm just going to put this on stir. Well, a whole stir, and you'll actually see it start to come together pretty easily. It's just on 3 now. And stop. It's just like that, easy. So I'm just going to lower this down. And you just keep repeating this process. So there's already enough liquid in there, so I'm just going to add some more flour in my regular mixture. Okay, so now that we have our luscious mixture, it should kind of look it should look like this. It smells absolutely amazing. So what I have here is, I advise you to get a steel pan, kind of like this. What I noticed is when I had a regular pan that was like kind of longer, it would bend a lot in the oven, and that would always mess my rolls up. But this, you can't really even bend it, and it can't bend in the heat. So plus this also makes a great portion size. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to line the bottom of my pan with parchment paper. I choose parchment paper because it is actually really easy in the rolling process. So here we just have this. Now I need my ladle. Alright, so all you're going to do is basically you just want the bottom of the pan to be covered. You don't really want it to be overfilled because this has to spread out. It's really thick too, so I would just do maybe 2.5 to 3 ladlefuls. And then get your spatula, scrape that out. And then this is what I just do. I just kind of spread it out all over the place on this pan. And if it looks like splotchy and stuff, don't worry, like it's looking kind of splotchy right now. But it'll work out fine because you're going to tap this a few times because you need to get all the air bubbles out. So this is what I do. Alright. Now hold your pan up and just kind of tap it on the bottom of it. Trying to get... You're not only getting the air bubbles out, but you can see where there's kind of like dips and stuff in it. Tap those places especially so that you can get all this evenly spread out. And if you think it's still like a little bit too thin, like I'm just gonna just put like a little dot of the mixture on top, tap it, and there you go. So you're just gonna put this in the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes at 375 degrees. And when we come back, I'll show you how you can roll it up and how I do it. Okay, so it's been 13 minutes and it should be done. Ooh, real hot. Okay. Is it done? Yep, it springs back. All right. So, now here's the part. The reason why when it's hot, it's essential that you take it out of its pan, just like this, and you put it on a towel. And with the parchment paper, because it is over, it's not cut properly, take a knife like this and just kind of like pull the parchment back, but sweep this forwards, like towards the cake. Because you're just kind of releasing the sides a little bit, just so it does, just so it like doesn't stick. And if this happens here, it's fine. It's just, you know, it's still very hot. We just took it out. And so the reason why that you roll it is because you want to kind of give it a muscle memory. So when you roll it back the second time with the frosting on it, it doesn't like break the first time because now it has the muscle memory to roll. Okay, just about there. Okay, so now you need to get your powdered sugar, and my powdered sugar is right here. So take your powdered sugar, and if you were smart like me, you would not have washed or gotten your sifter wet. So what I would do if I had a sifter, I'd just sift it over the top, but I don't have a sifter because it is wet. So just kind of sprinkle some over the top like this. Now see, if you get like a huge ball like this, just kind of break it up with your fingers. Sprinkle it like you're sprinkling flour on a board. You can spread this out too. Just kind of sprinkle this all over. Now why do you need powdered sugar? So it doesn't stick to itself when you roll it up. Because when you roll it, it's naturally going to get really sticky and it's going to condensate a lot in there. So kind of, you really want to get a lot. It looks like it's a lot, but it's going to like dissolve because of all of the water that's going to be produced. So just wiping my hands a little bit. Woo. Okay. So now here's what you do. Take the end like this, and you can pull this back so like the end of the actual cake meets this. So it's really just easy. You start rolling, and then you get this parchment, your towel, and you start rolling. And let me tell you, if you're not careful, like I'm not right now, you're going to actually burn your fingerprints, and the FBI will never catch you because you will never, ever, 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 ever have fingerprints again. So now you have a taffy. It's what I like to call a little taffy design. Just take it and put it in the fridge. Now, depending on how long you or how fast you want this, you can let this sit for maybe 3 or 4 hours, but I decided to let this sit for at least 6 hours so you can get all of the heat out and it's all cool. And when I come back, I'll show you how to make the cream cheese frosting. Okay, so we kind of made a mistake and we weren't recording when we started the filling process, but I'll just catch you up. All I had was a stick of butter and a block of cream cheese, but I have multiplied that by 4 because I'm making 4 pumpkin rolls, and all you're doing right now is you're just creaming them together. It looks like a hot mess right now, but just give it some time. Alright, so all I'm doing right now is I'm just scraping down the sides of the bowl, because let me tell you, that is important to do, because if you don't, then you're going to miss a bunch. You'll have like a lump of cream cheese at the bottom, and you're just going to have uneven flavor profiles. So all I did while it was in the time lapse, I just added some vanilla, and that's pretty much it. But I'm just going to give this a whirl for like another couple seconds just to kind of make sure I got everything. Okay, so now all that I'm doing is I've just got my 4 cups of powdered sugar that I'm using, and I'm just going to add this in little by little, because those of you that work with powdered sugar know, just like I just did, it spilled a little bit. It's very, very light and fluffy, so it flies everywhere. Okay, I'm just adding little amounts in at a time to kind of get everything ready. I put on the stir speed just so it'll kind of get acquainted with everything. Okay, so I just added in the last bit, and as you guys can see right here, so it is starting to change the coloring, and look at how luscious it is and flowy. And as you can see, all this powdered sugar and this stuff on the sides, we're obviously going to have to scrape down. If that's one thing you'll ever learn from this channel, is to scrape, scrape, scrape. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, just going to stop it. Take out your paddle attachment, just set it in the bowl, and I'm just going to move this over. I'm going to set this over here. Okay. So now what you want to do is just take this out and look at all this stuff on it. Get all this stuff out. This is like 24 karat gold right here. When I actually made this dish at my church, or my youth group, there was actually a person that had taken the filling out of the actual pumpkin roll, and they just left an empty shell of the actual pumpkin roll, and they took the filling out. And now if you're watching this video, I want you to come clean because I don't know who you are. But I was in absolute complete shock. Okay. So here we have the glorious mixture. Now, if you want to scrape up from the bottom, that's a good idea, and just start kind of mixing it from the bottom up. And if you have, now look, if you have lumps of cream cheese in your frosting, that's alright, that's perfectly normal. That's just because the cream cheese is cold, it's naturally cold, and I really don't like to let my cream cheese sit out for a while because, I don't know, I just never do like to do that. But you can set your butter out and everything like that. But if you do have lumps in it, just know that's perfectly normal. That even happens with regular like cheesecakes, no bakes, regular bakes, every kind of cheesecake. This isn't a cheesecake, but it's kind of like one. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take some plastic wrap. Now I can't think of the word. To prevent this from a skim forming on top of it, now this is what I do. I take some cling wrap or some plastic wrap and I just put it over top of the frosting. Now, this step isn't necessary, but listen, when it gets in the fridge, it is going to become very, very cold, and it might develop a skin on top. So I'm just going to pop this in the fridge and I'm going to show you when I frost it. Okay everybody, so what I've done, it's just been a few hours later, maybe 3. These are really cool right now actually, so I just took one out. So all I did was I took the frosting out and I got a little piping bag and I just filled it up so I can easily get an even spread on it. So here is the thing. So don't get real scared and afraid if when you start unrolling your roll that it might crack. But that's with any roll that you do. Don't be afraid if that happens, and if you see leftover powdered sugar remains, that's alright. Alright, so here's what you do. This is just how I do it too. If you want, you can get rid of some of these little things, but if you don't, it's alright. So just take, now you can see it's starting to crack a little bit, it's alright. Just kind of, I need to make a bigger hole in this. Make sure that you get a big enough hole in this bag. Okay. So now all you want to do is just kind of, oh, well, if this happens, it's alright. So continuing from the last shot, my bag busted and I realized that not everybody's going to have a piping bag. So all you do is you just smear the stuff on in a pretty even layer. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be in people's bellies in a few short minutes. So make sure that you really get an even coat on first before you really start to try and, you know, make it perfect. Because a little goes a long way. And make sure that you get the inside of the roll too. Because one of my pet peeves is when people do rolls like this, they often don't even fill the inside and you just have crust or cake. Which the cake is really good in itself. But, you know, you still want to have that delicious filling that everybody adores. Okay. So just keep on filling it until you feel like you've got everything that you want covered up. Okay, just gonna... Now if you see a few little skimps here and there, it's alright. Alright. So here's what you're gonna do. Take your roll, put it long ways. And now you're just gonna kind of tug away the parchment. That's why I love parchment paper. Okay. And take your hand, press down. This is why the sponge part, when you roll it in the beginning, is very important. because look how it just rolls right back up. Alright. And there is your pumpkin roll. All perfect. Now, if you want to be very analytical, you can see right here where there are some like minor cracks. If you want to cover those up, you can just do stuff like this. Make it flush to the actual roll. This is my little tip and secret you can do. And so that's what you do with that part when you have a crack. But what you want to do is when you serve this, cover it in powdered sugar till you have a light dusting on the top, and you can cut the ends off and serve it however you like. So also what you're going to do, what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to get some foil. Okay. Now, get you a big piece of foil. I like to do this with my hand because it's just so much easier to do it this way. Just take the ends, tuck them in. Seal the sides up. Now you might need more than one piece of aluminum foil for this. It usually takes more than one, because I usually wrap it up one way and then I wrap it up the other. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. And there you guys go. That's how I make my pumpkin roll. So I just want to thank you guys for watching this, and thank you guys for supporting me. And most of all, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you click the like button and you subscribe. If you want all the correct measurements, I'll put them down below in the description box. But thank you guys for watching. Share this video, and I'll see you guys next time.